Welcome to the What's Up with Real Estate show. I am your host, Matt Schaup, and today I will be answering your questions about buying, selling, and investing in real estate. I will also be giving you a sneak peek into the inner workings of the real estate industry. Why? So that you can be informed and empowered to make the right decision about if, how, when, and why to hire not just a real estate agent, but a real estate professional. This is your show, so fire away your questions and your comments. I will be sure to answer them as a part of an upcoming show. Remember, I'll be keeping it real with my answers, so get ready, tune in, sit back, and let's have some fun. Hey everybody, welcome to episode 6 of the What's Up with Real Estate show. I'm your host, Matt Schaup. Today we're going to be talking about investing. If you have not watched the first 5 episodes, go back and do that, because what we've done is I've had a very natural progression through the very foundation of what I talk about in this show. The first episode, I shared my story so you could get to know me. Second episode, I explained the concept. There are 13 core characteristics, not so much competencies, but characteristics of a human from a personal integrity standpoint that if a real estate agent or realtor does not display, they're not a real estate professional. We talked about that. Then we talked about buying and what to look for in an agent that will help you buy a home, things to consider, the process, what happens as you go get under contract to find and buy a home, as well as selling. And then in the 5th episode, I shared, and I do this, I'm pulling the curtain back, showing you behind the industry. If you want to sell your home by yourself, go check out episode 5. I showed you how to for sale by owner your home. And at the end of all of this this show, I'm here to have fun and have a good time with everybody so you can get to know me and everything. But, I really want you to make the right decision about if, when, how, why you buy, sell, invest in real estate, and if you do engage with a real estate professional. And as I've mentioned before, it is really frustrating and sad, and a lot of emotions come in when I see all of these knucklehead agents that are not doing the right thing for people. So that's the foundation of all this show. We're going to talk today about investing and how you can make tons of money and create wealth and become very wealthy in investing. And I only speak from personal experience because I have gone through this. I'm not today going to talk about house flipping. I have never flipped a home. So I'm not going to speak on something that I am irrelevant to from that standpoint. So we're not going to talk about flipping. We're going to talk about investing through the lens of some concepts that I know, that I understand, that I have implemented into my investing game and business model to become wealthy and be able to have the story that I do today. Now, the other thing we're going to do is, you're probably thinking, Matt's a real estate agent. If he shows me how to invest and become wealthy, then he does too, because he gets to help me buy and sell the homes. Well, yeah, if you work with me. If not, that's cool. If you, whatever, like, this show's about you. What most agents are not going to tell you when they share the 5 ways that you can become wealthy in real estate, we'll talk about that. I'm also going to talk about the way that you can basically become financially screwed very quickly. You can go bankrupt. You can not only lose the investment property you purchased, but you can lose your own home that you just worked for your family. So I'm going to talk about the reality and some of the worst case scenarios, because that is my job. If I'm here to educate you and I have that that commitment and I make that promise as a realtor, and then I'm making an even bigger promise and I'm raising that bar to say not only a realtor but a real estate professional, I have to do that. It's my duty, so you can make the right decision. So let's get in. We're going to talk about all that today. I'm going to share how you can become really wealthy, how you could lose everything, give you all of the information and the education, and then I'm going to share what you should look for in the real estate professional that is suggesting you invest in real estate. and if they don't display these things, you got to fire them. You got to get them out of there. So before we get into the content today, I have to thank my official sponsor. Then we're going to do shout outs. Official sponsor of the What's Up with Real Estate show is Spanish Café con Leche. I import this from Spain. I have a team of importers that send this my way. I have another big batch coming right now. Juana, equipo, está riquísimo. Este café hoy, perfecto. Está llegando todo bien, esperando la caja grande que viene todavía, pero gracias y nos vemos en marzo, ¿vale? So let's jump in to shout outs. I would like to give a huge shout out for many reasons to my good friend Mark Shirazi. So on Friday, it was his birthday. And Mark, I called you Saturday. I gave you a late birthday call, so don't hold that too much against me. But Mark is a great friend. We've done some real estate business together. His family, he comes from a phenomenal family that lives in Greeley, Colorado, and they have a company that provides benefits to companies of all sizes, and we're business partners with them through our business. They provide a service to us, but Mark's just a good dude. He's a fun guy, and we had this huge. They threw a huge birthday party for Mark. His family did, and we had a big Persian dinner and had some phenomenal food. And Mark, I'd like to thank you for introducing me to a young man named Mike. So I meet Mark's friend Mike, and Mike, this show really is for you. I sat down this morning, I put my notes together because you told me, Matt, I just bought my first flip and I want to become an investor and do all this real estate. So I'd just like to share, if you're going to jump into real estate and you'd like to become wealthy doing it, just to have this. I wish I had this because my investment story started a little bit differently. So we'll talk about that. So Mark, thank you for everything. Mike, this show's for you. Let's jump into the content. My real estate investing story, basically, this is the quick cliff notes of everything. If you remember episode 1, I bought this condo. I overpaid for it. The bank gave me 102% financing, so the bank paid me. I'm already upside down. I overpaid because the agent that sold it to me just wanted to sell it to me, but I'm still a big boy and still made that decision, right? So my first investment property, this condo, I live in it. I then go buy a home. I move out of the condo and I become a landlord by default or by moving. Looking back, I would not have purchased that condo based on the parameters I'm going to share with you today. But then I did go on, and my model is long-term buy, little bit of renovation, and then long-term holding and renting to families that would like to have a phenomenal home, a phenomenal place to live. I do charge a little bit higher rents, but I also provide better service, give a better quality home, and that actually vets out some of the problems that a lot of people experience when they're renting homes. So anyway, my investing story is I went from nothing, couple $100,000 in debt. We now have made millions and millions of dollars, and I just say that just to share that you can become wealthy with real estate, and I've done it in single family buy and hold. I also do own a commercial building that I rent to my company, and we're making a big commercial move there. So that's my experience with it right there. What I'm going to talk about now is all of the ways you can make money. Then I'm going to share all of the nightmares that you can have, and then we're going to talk about what to look for in the agent. So let's jump into that. Here's all of the ways you can make money with real estate. But before we get into that, consider these 3 things. Why do you want to become a real estate investor? If you cannot answer that question, just pause this video and think about this. What is the story you want to leave behind? Think about this from their short-term gain perspective, but think about this from the long-term gain. For me, the reason that I invest in real estate is because I am absolutely dedicated to changing my family's financial tree and that picture of what it looks like. I am completely inspired and working hard every day to leave something for my family, not just my kids, but I'm talking about like deep legacy, like grandkids and grandkids and grandkids, and implant a new mindset about how to manage money and become wealthy and what that really means, that it's actually a good thing, and that with all of that, you can come help a lot of people and organizations and families that really need it, that needs your help. So that's why I do this. But why do you do this? Doesn't matter why I do it. Why do you do it? How are you going to do it? What is your method going to be? I'm not going to talk about flipping because I have no experience doing it. My method, my structure that I have is the buy and hold single family. And I even have a business model of what kind of single family home I do and what kind of potential tenant or even client that I look for. And then what are the things that you need to learn, understand, execute on to make this dream and this vision, this why, a reality? And one more thing before we get into the 5 big ways you can make money with real estate and investing by buying and holding long term is if you go to the bank, and The new get rich quick thing is Bitcoin right now. Has everybody seen this? If you've been on Facebook, here's how you can make $1 million. This guy made $2 million with Bitcoin, and he's this really smart scientist looking guy, made a couple $1,000,000. And Bitcoin's the new big thing. So if you walk into the bank, if you walk into a small bank, big bank, whatever, and say, hi, I'm Matt Shoup, I would like to invest in $1 million of Bitcoin, because Facebook and this little video that I watched and signed up for told me that I could get rich beyond my wildest dreams. So I'd like $1 million worth of Bitcoin. I want to put down $250,000 of my own money. Will you lend me the other $750? Like, go into the bank. I just go into the bank and do that, because they will laugh you out of the bank. So point being is, one of the only things you can actually do that with is real estate. Real estate is real. It is a piece of dirt. It is physical material that builds a home. There's always going to be a demand. There's always going to be that supply. There's always going to be an economy surrounding real estate from an investment standpoint. Now, it will fluctuate. There's ups, there's downs, right? There's rewards and risks, but a bank, and banks are smart. They make a lot of money, and they know what they're doing, but they will lend money on real estate. You cannot go borrow money to buy Bitcoin. You cannot go borrow money for the next get-rich-quick thing. You cannot go borrow money from a bank to buy stock in Starbucks or any company. The bank has so much confidence in real estate that they will lend their money and know they will still make money. So consider that. Here's the different ways that you can make money with real estate if you are to buy and hold it long term, okay? Because I'm not a flipper. Appreciation, number one. Let's say we use an example. You buy a home for $200,000. You put down $50,000 and the bank loans you $150,000. So you have just put up $50,000 of your own cash. You have a $150,000 mortgage, and you have a $200,000 home value, initial value. That home will go up in value. So let's say in 5 years it's worth $100,000 more. $300,000, okay? You now have made $100,000 in that appreciation. Number two, you're going to be paying the $150,000 mortgage down. That balance that you owe is going to be going down. Now, it goes down slower initially. We're not going to talk about amortization schedules. That's the show with my lender down the road. But you are going to, in your mortgage reduction, make money, because you now have a tenant that is paying that mortgage down. You're still only in it at, let's say, $50,000. Okay, and this assumes you had nothing to paint or fix or renovate, okay, using this example. So you make money, value going up of the home, mortgage reduction, and mortgage balance going down. That's the second way. Third way is there is a cash flow component. So you put $50,000 down, you now have a home, and let's say for all practical purposes, you have a $1,200 mortgage. Your other costs associated with running the home are $300 a month. So you have a $1,500 expense of everything it takes to run this business, this investment. And the family living in the home is paying $2,000 a month in rent. So your hard cost all the way out the door, $1,500. You're making $500 a month. So the difference between the income and all of the expenses and cost is your cash flow, or your net monthly profit. So if you multiply that, say, over 12 months, over 1 year, $6,000, divide that by the $50,000 you initially invested, and you're going to be over a 10% cash-on-cash return. So whatever 6,000 divided by 50 is, that is your cash-on-cash return for the year. You can also look at the concept of cap rate and that percentage of return that you're getting, okay? So you have cash flow, you have increase in value, you have decrease in mortgage balance. And then the fourth thing, talk to your CPA about this, but as you depreciate the value of this property over time, you can look at this asset as something that is depreciating in value. There is a way to have tax savings with that, and it depends on if you are or are not involved as a real estate professional. There's some tax code there, and I don't know what that all is, or am I going to give you all of that advice, because that's not what I have any experience nor degrees or certifications, and not a CPA or a lawyer, okay? Fifth thing is just the overall leverage. You just bought a $200,000 house for $50,000, and now it's worth $300,000. So you're not buying something for $1,000 with $1,000 of your own money, or something for $200,000 with $200,000 of your own money. Okay, if you go buy $100,000 worth of stock, you're going to spend $100,000. So that's your initial in. So those are the 5 ways that you can make money. And if you do this smart and wisely and correctly, slowly over time with a long game, with a 30-year game plan in mind, you can have 10, 20, 30, 40, 100 free and clear properties that are kicking off thousands of dollars a month, potentially per property, and become very wealthy doing that. So that's the sexy part of real estate investing, right? Now let's talk about some of the realities of things that can happen. When I had my first investment property, my condo, right, which happened by default, I learned a lot about people. This is a people business, okay? You know, I'm an investor. I'm investing in real estate and it's numbers. Yeah, it's numbers. That's fine. You have a family that needs a wonderful place to live. I mean, think about what your family wants to live and just use this golden rule. Would my family live here? How do you want to position yourself as a landlord? For me, I get a nice house and I fix it up really nice. And I charge more rent than anything else in the neighborhood. Because if somebody just wants the cheapest home in the neighborhood and they're going to trash a house, go down the street and do that to somebody else's home. My position is that. And I want you to consider who are you going to allow to come in your home? How are they going to treat it? And what is that value exchange? Because here's all of the stuff that can happen, right? I have great tenants. I've had a water heater break and refrigerator goes down and they call me, and honestly most of them they're pretty handy. If it's a little thing, they just fix it. And I've had some pretty big things. I've had hailstorms and all kind of things happen where we had to get a new roof and insurance claims. But I've seen some investors where they you know, it's a cheap home, kind of the slumlord model where they're renting very cheap just to get people in, fill the property, and they don't vet the people. Maybe they don't do background checks or see if they look like they're on drugs when they walk. They never even see their tenants because it just comes to their P.O. box, right? All of the rent. So what if your tenant decides that they're going to cook some meth in your home and then smoke some meth in your home, right? Is it still as sexy? Does it still sound really sexy to become a real estate investor? What if you go buy the home and maybe you listen to this, go buy a tax lien or whatever, you go buy a foreclosure or something sight unseen, and you walk in and there's a dead body on a mattress. That this has not happened to me. I know an investor that has heard this story and he sees all kinds of crazy stuff. What if they're cooking meth, or you walk in and there's something crazy? I mean, what if you let some people into your home where they're frustrated with you? Maybe they watch this video and they see how wealthy you're getting and you're treating them like garbage, right? Or like numbers on paper. So they just trash your home, or they just call you for every little single thing in the middle of the night, right? And you're coming over there like, this is the stuff that happens. You are dealing with people, long game, right? 30 years worth of people and rents and things coming in and coming out. Things can blow up. Point being is, are you emotionally and professionally and personally ready to just deal with this? This is a business. This is money in, money out. This is people. This is understanding personalities. And this is somebody's home, even a tenant. Like, that's their biggest payment every month. It's their home. Are you ready to jump into this? And yeah, what if there's a dead body or somebody cooking meth, or you've got to remediate meth and it costs you $50,000? Can you financially support a $50,000 hit if it comes in next month? Because again, not only can you lose this financial investment and asset, but if you don't structure this the right way, you personally can be responsible, and that can come back. You can lose your home that you're in there with your spouse and your sig others and your kids and your family. Imagine that. So that's the worst case scenario. Do you still want to become a real estate investor? Decision is yours. Manage the exits and the entries and the potential wins, and right? And there's a return and there's a risk, and manage that and decide where you want to fit into that industry. Okay, so let's get into the last thing. A couple of reasons you should fire your real estate agent immediately if he or she is encouraging you to become a real estate investor and they don't do these things. Freaking fire them. Okay, now if they are doing these things, that means you have a real estate professional. Okay, so number one, do they share the entire story? I just shared the entire story from an overall perspective, right, of buying, holding long-term and renting to tenants from investing. Shared all of the ups and the exciting and the sexy part and they become wealthy and make millions. But then do they also share the nightmares? If your agent is just telling you, hey, here's the ways you can make money and this is great and this is great, and they don't even share the reality of the reality that like there's crazy stuff that happens, fire them. They're in it for you, for them. They want to make their money because you are an investor as a client and they want to close a deal and make commission because their investor is investing and they're going to tell you that you should be investing and making money, and they're more concerned about their money than you as a person. Fire them, okay? Number 2, does your real estate agent invest in property? Is what they are speaking on, are they actually relevant to the conversation because they've done it themselves? If they haven't, fire them. If I get on YouTube and share a what's up with real estate video about how to flip a house and I haven't done it, then fire me, unsubscribe. Don't hire me as an agent because I am irrelevant to talk about that, okay? If they don't have experience in it and they are encouraging you to go do it, they need to be quiet. They need to shut up. Seriously, fire them, okay? It is a lot easier to, think about this. You ever seen the late night infomercial on any kind of get rich quick thing? So think about the Bitcoin guy. Bitcoin guy, whatever your name is, if you made $3 million that quickly on Bitcoin and the next cryptocurrency that's going to be out there, why are you now selling a $1,000 program to a bunch of uneducated people that think there's a get rich quick scheme and they're going to buy that hook, line, and sinker? And I'm not knocking people for buying it, but the dude that made $3 million is making obviously a lot more money selling you and the general public the $1,000 infomercial on how to go make $3 million. If it's me, I would just go keep making another $3 million and then another 3 and then another 10, whatever. So think about that. When the product that teaches you how to make the money in whatever the industry is, it's usually more lucrative selling that information than it is to actually continue to buy and sell the product or make the money with the product. So anyway, fire your agent if they're not investing in real estate. They shouldn't be talking about it. Let's say that they are investing in real estate and they have shared the whole story. Number 3, this is very important, and I'm willing to do this, and this is just me, and I think this is what a great real estate professional does. I do this in all of my companies. If a client wants to see how much money I really make and where all the money goes, here's my P&L. Here's my balance sheet. Okay, I had a painting customer the other day. Yeah, this is $5,000. How? Oh my gosh, this is crazy. This is highway robbery. Well, here's where all the money goes. And I showed them the P&L. And they were like, whoa, what? Oh, I didn't realize that half of that goes out right away to pay for the paint and the materials. I didn't realize that, oh yeah, you have a building, right? Whatever. Will your agent that is investing or whoever's suggesting you invest, will they show you the real numbers? Because there's a lot of lying and there's a lot of puffery of numbers in any kind of industry. Oh yeah, I make $20,000 free cash flow a month. Cool, show that to me. Show it. Show me the money, right? Show me the money. And if they don't show you the money, fire them. Number 4, whether you theoretically, logically process through information, data, details, and facts, or you just have this emotional core like gut instinct, or wherever you are in the continuum of how you make decisions, okay? If something logically or instinctually is telling you that you feel like your agent is more in this deal for you investing than they are, that they're more in it for themselves to make that commission than they're in it for you and you winning. If you don't feel your best interest, right, and those 13 things are being met, go back to video 2, then fire them, get rid of them, okay? So there you go. That's the show today. Okay, you can become super wealthy, you can go freaking broke, and then there's somewhere in between for most people, but those are the 2 extremes, okay? Do you still want to become a real estate investor? The decision is yours. I'm just here to provide you and answer the questions, give you the information about buying, selling, investing, so that you can make the right decision about if, when, how, why. Here, not only to start investing or continue investing, but how and if you would like to engage a real estate professional in doing this. And don't hire anything less than a real estate professional. So again, I'm Matt Schaup. Make sure to tune in to the show. Tell me if you love it. Tell me if you hate it. Tell me how it can get better, and give me feedback. And don't forget, go to mattshauprealtor.com. Check out the site. I will very soon have in my resources section all of the things you can download. I'm going to put a document here talking about everything we talked about here and some of the structure and things to consider when investing. I'll have that all up on my site, and stay in touch. So until next time, this has been the What's Up with Real Estate show. I'm going to go get to work. I'm going to finish this coffee. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you soon.